And so I think there's an opportunity with immigration that we face now. But I also have to say, there are values like the rule of law that have to be respected. And so I think in that spirit, I've had the opportunity in the past to work across party lines to try to come up with a solution to the immigration issue that respects both humanity and the law. And I believe it's possible if we all get engaged and do it. And just to give you a little bit of personal background on this, in 2006, John McCain, the late, great John McCain, and Ted Kennedy put together a proposal for immigration reform that would allow us to bring people in to do temporary work on visas, would allow people who were here for a long period of time, albeit without authorization, to somehow get their status regularized, and would also make sure we were ensuring the security of our border. It didn't pass, but as I observed it, I said to myself, you know, if this does pass, it's going to be on the Department of Homeland Security to actually make it work. And one thing I learned is it's easy to pass a bill, it is really hard to implement it. So I wrote a memo to go up to the president to say, look, I think we ought to be involved from the get-go in talking about what comprehensive immigration reform looks like. And President Bush called me and he said, yes, I want you to do this, and Secretary Gutierrez, and I want you to meet with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate and put something together. And we did that. We met 2 or 3 days a week in the afternoon in the Vice President's office in one of the Senate office buildings, and it was senators and cabinet secretaries, and we talked through from ground principles, what did we think a solution looked like? Now, you had people with very different views. You had Republicans, you had Democrats. And in the end, we were able to come up with a solution that didn't satisfy everybody 100%, but gave everybody a sense that this was a big step forward and that they could agree to it. And I remember the bill did not pass for a number of reasons. But when it was on the floor of the Senate, there were a number of amendments that were offered that would have basically destroyed the bill. Offered either by people on the Republican side who didn't want any bill or people on the Democratic side who didn't want any bill. And I particularly remember that some of the Democratic proposals were inconsistent with the agreement. And so what happened was Senator Kennedy got up on the floor and he argued vigorously against them. Now, I knew he actually agreed with the amendments, but because of the spirit of the bill, he argued against it, not just in a pro forma way, but with all of the passion that he could summon. And my takeaway from that was that the key to success in government is trust. And the way you gain trust, among other things, is you demonstrate that your word is your bond, that when you reach an agreement with somebody, you're actually going to honor it, not in a kind of a cheesy, way, but using the full force of all your power and all your rhetoric to honor it. So I believe that spirit exists, and I think we need to summon it.